Still gotta put the fender liners back in, but it makes the rear end look so much more cleaner, like underneath. Hey guys, Jason with Overland. So today we are installing the Teraflex rear HD Swaybar. Now the cool thing about this is it allows for up to 16 inches of articulation with the rear Swaybar, and before this I had the Hellwig rear Swaybar that I praise about. You can control where you're bolting the links on the 3 settings, so you can make it firmer or softer. So obviously firmer is going to affect your flex. So this last trip we were on, I kept lifting a wheel, and going back through it and testing it in my own little playground out back, if I took the sway bar off, I wouldn't lift that wheel. So the sway bar does affect your articulation, especially in the rear. You know, the Rubicons have the selectable front sway bar disconnect, but the rear also does affect that. So having a super firm sway bar in the back is nice for, especially if you have a camper, you know, rooftop tent. It's really nice on the highway, but once you get into the articulation and off-roading, it does limit your flex. So we went with the Teraflex one because it does move the sway bar from the bottom where you hit rocks, and I've broken many links before that, but it moves it all the way up top above the frame rails, so it's up out of the way, it flexes, it does its thing. I've put this off for 4 years because I wanted to wait till the Jeep was paid off, because you do have to drill holes in your frame to mount the brackets for the sway bar. A lot of people aren't going to be comfortable with this, especially on a new car, because if you do have, let's say you do have a frame issue and you're under warranty and they see that you drilled a hole in your frame, that can be an issue. So I have no worries about that, as long as after you drill you put a protectant on the metal, you won't have any issues. So I already drilled the frame both sides. I'm just kind of wanted to put this before we started this entire thing. I wanted you to know this before you bought the product. Is it worth it? Yes, for me it's worth it. Is it worth drilling your frame? That's up to you. If you're still under a factory warranty, that can be an issue for you, but you know, we mod the heck out of these Jeeps, and I've been, last 80,000 miles on mine, I've been extremely hard on it, but I do spend a small fortune in maintenance and, you know, religious 5,000 mile synthetic oil changes. This one's a diesel. Maintain it, take care of it, it'll take care of you. And you know, obviously being a mechanic, the labor is free, you know, my time. And I do get some small discount on these parts through YouTube. Talking sponsorship, it's not free. At least this stuff isn't. Teraflex has not helped me out at all with any of this. Northridge 4x4 has helped out some. But anyway, I absolutely love this sway bar, the install. I have friends that run it. I know Carrie from Trail Traveler praises it. And I'm not saying the Hellwig is bad or anything like that. I still love the Hellwig because you can adjust it fully on, you can adjust the Hellwig fully on the soft setting, the further out hole away from the sway bar, and you can get that articulation back. This is quite the detailed install. So it's not like the old Hellwig, it's not like the Hellwig rear sway bar that we had on there before. The problem with the Hellwig rear sway bar is that A, it hangs down below the axle, and B, it can be so stiff that it actually limits your articulation and your flex off-road, causing you to lift a wheel. And that's the issue I had recently on our last trip, as I kept lifting wheels. So taking the sway bar off fixed all that, but Teraflex does have a rear sway bar kit that does articulate way better than this one. Now this is great for some people if you're towing all the time, you have an off-road camper. The Hellwig rear sway bar will make a huge difference in that because it tightens up the rear end, so there's no side-to-side sway. Now, to install the Teraflex one, this one sits above the frame rail here, and you have to remove your we'll install it back, the bump stops, but you do have to have some special tools. I had to buy a link down below on Amazon. I had to buy a countersink drill bit set, right? And the one I ended up using was the 16 millimeter or 5/8. Now it does say 3/8, and the instructions do say 3/8 on here. But if you want it countersunk, you do measure. Teraflex does have good instructions where you measure over. But if you want it countersunk, because you need it flat, because you got to bolt the block back on it. So, yeah, just that's the only issue I ran into. This was that it just says countersink, the 3/8 hole. So you do need a different size countersink, not just a 3/8 one. So I do have that installed, and then it's obviously going to have a fancy bracket that goes on here. Yep. So this countersink's on here, and we'll get started. The passenger side is a lot easier because the hole's already there, and if you're already using Teraflex's system, it's already good to go. So this, you don't need this bolt. This is going to slide in. Let's see how it automatically lines up, and then that's what it taps into. So this side, passenger side, is a lot easier than the driver's side. All right, guys, this is involved. So obviously I took the fender well out because it just makes it so much easier. But these are the brackets they supply. You're gonna bolt up these brackets, center punch, and you have to drill through the frame. Some of you guys, I'll take note and put this in the video description or the start of the video. But drilling through the frame is something not everyone wants to do. Obviously, 80,000 miles, Jeep's paid off, it's mine anyway, and I'm okay with that. As long as you put paint on it, you're not going to worry about rust stuff on the holes that you drill. But you do have to drill 2 holes through, and then it has a it has one of these that you put up through the frame mount, and it bolts into the inside. So yeah, that's something that you need to know before you buy this. If you're comfortable with drilling holes in your frame, not everyone's going to be okay with that, but as you can see, the factory Swaybar mounts are bad about cracking. And I did have the metal cloak ones that bolted on there, but obviously this moves the whole Swaybar out, so you have less room for rocks. AEV 3-inch springs, they're 4 years old, they're worn out. We are replacing these with the Teraflex Outback 3.5-inch springs. The Outback ones are triple progressive. These AV have been amazing springs, but I'm going with springs that match my whole suspension setup, as I do have the IR arms, the Falcon 3.3 with the adjustables. And obviously you can't just replace springs. The bump stop adjusters are going to be different. On the fronts, I already have the speed bumps by Teraflex. So with these adjusters, I think I'm set. On the front, I think I just got to take the springs out. So they do get a coil spacer up front, but I am a little bit worried that the springs aren't going to hold the weight as well as the AV has, but we shall see. And a closer look down here, you do take out this metal retainer that holds the ABS cable out of the way. And you will zip tie this to here. And this is Teraflex's extended arm, which does include a wire harness. And this is going to zip tie to the new arms. So you're good on that too as well. Got them. Unfortunately, this is going to take a little bit longer for me because I do have lights I got to wire in for my rock lights, and then the harnesses, the wires that I ran, I want to clean this up, put looms on them, and clean all this up and out of the way, because the way this sits, this has to be all tucked back here. You can have some tuck right here, but you do relocate the harness behind the frame rail, and this, you want it tucked out of the way and down, so when the bar goes through, it's not in the way. All done. So I would not want to do this modification again, but there's where it comes through. You got your new brackets on here. Comes up to here, comes down to the axle. This is the Teraflex ABS extender, and it makes it all nice and neat with the ABS sensor and the extended brake lines. Same with down here. Got some slack all the way through. Again, the torque on these is like 140 foot-pounds. And you get that side in all locked down, and then you come over here, and you gotta take a pry bar and kind of get it over here to clear this, and then torque it down and get it in. Like 45 foot-pounds in those two. Teraflex has a pretty good instruction video, but you have to follow it to the T because it can be a pain in the butt. But we're all in. Get the tires on, get it flexed out tomorrow, and then we can see if our new fender covers fit. The only part I'm worried about is right here. Still gotta put the fender liners back in, but it makes the rear end look so much more cleaner, like underneath. See the diff a lot easier. Again, thanks for watching, making it through. Like, subscribe, Eco Diesel, Jeep Gladiator content, and we'll see you in the next video.
Go ahead.
About 26 degrees October.
Ain't that cold?